Welcome to the Impact Effect Podcast. I'm fired up today because Brad Draper is in the house. And not only is he a sexy beast over there, I mean, look at that. He's got the suit on, he's got the good lighting, the fresh beard. But this is a man of real impact. He wants to help people. He continuously does help people. We've had so many great conversations. We met out in Beverly Hills. We were just chatting about how it was a little spontaneous for both of us to be out there in the moment. And we're going to dive into what he believes his impact, how he helps people, and how he creates that positive impact today. So please help me welcome Brad.
Thank you for having me, Jim. You're the best. Oh,
Let's
man, that time at Beverly Hills is timeless. It's priceless.
let's go,
Just
baby.
show up and do good things.
I love it. I love it. As always, we ask every guest the same question, two-part question. How do you define impact, and how do you show up in the world and provide positive impact today?
I love this question, and I've pondered on it quite a bit. I'm like, how do I really define impact without using the word impact? And and one thing that I do, and I learned this lesson, which I will get into how I learned the lesson and why I learned the lesson, which is I define impact by making the environment or the space better than you found it. Any environment that might be in. When you show up to something, how can you make this moment, this space, this environment, this person, this thing better or aggrandized from when you happened upon it? This lesson really came. I was at a friend's facility, and this facility is 280,000 square feet of pure perfection. There is not a spot of dust anywhere. I watched people cleaning the mirrors after they washed their hands in the bathroom, and the mirror wasn't dirty. I watched them clean the bowls out. I watched them get a drink from the water fountain and dry the water fountain. I watched people turn the labels and be forward facing on their own desk with their own water bottles at their workstations. And I saw this, and we went into the gym, and their gym was just world class. Everything had a place. Every label was forward facing, upright. The selectorized plates were to the top. All the handles were in their location that was outlined for said handle. And the rules are just intense. They even put glass on the desks so you can see powder. So if you left powder behind from your protein drinks or something, you can see that you left a mess. Clean it. And I looked at this, and I'm talking to my friend, who's the CEO and president of the company. I said, what is the deal with all this? He said, just do better. The more you create a space and you make that space better than you found it, it's literally impossible to not exponentially increase as a person, both yourself and the environment. And I've really taken that to heart, and I try as much as possible to aggrandize a moment or a person or a thing. And it's really well known. I go to the gym every day, and it's well known. If I take something off the weight tree, I will organize the entire weight tree. Even all the plates in the very back, I will straighten them, the ones that aren't seen, because I know they're there. And it's kind of the funny running joke at the gym of after Brad organized the tree, run over and turn one a little bit because they think it's OCD. And I turned around and said, it's not OCD. I left the space better than I found it. You may mess the space up, and that's your choice and your choosing, but I left it better than I found it. This is a choice of progression, not OCD. So that's where that lesson came from, and how I show up every day and create that impact is by making these spaces better, by doing as much as I can in the moment. Not, oh, I can do that tomorrow, but what can I do right now? I got a 3D printer just a room away that's printing a little toy, because I was at a friend's house and she brought me a 3D printed toy that her dog chewed up. And she said, can you print this on your printer? Yeah, of course I can. Well, I'm going to their house today. I was like, oh, before this podcast with good old Jim Morris, I'm going to go press print. And so that's ready to go when I leave. I could do that a week from now. I can do it a month from now, but I'm going today. And it doesn't take any of my time to press print and bring the toy. So it's making things better than you found them.
What an amazing definition, bro. And experiential share and story with us. You're so profound with your word choice and elegant, and I appreciate it, because I know when I sent you this question, you definitely prepared and did the work before the work. But that's always you. Like, that's natural for you to just have a deep thought around something, really bring it into that real world experience and have meaning behind it. with what you said around impact, you saw this facility, you were at this experience, and you want to make your environment better. What environments are you focusing on right now to make better, or is it every environment you find yourself in?
It's as much as I can every environment. It's not just pick and choose. It's this very moment, what can I do? For instance, before this call, my day's really, really packed today. I'm like back to back, go, 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 because we leave for Yellowstone tomorrow. So I'm stacking everything in that I would normally do from now to next Tuesday, which is several days from now. I sat down. I'm like, I can crush some of these videos for my buddy because I'm helping him with his podcast. I can crush some of these videos for 15 minutes. Let's crush for 15 minutes. I could have sat on my phone. I could have messed around. I could have played. I could have done whatever, but for that 15 minutes. But the 15 minutes prior to that, my son says, hey, can we take the RC cars to the field? Of course we can. Let's take them to the field. I only got 15 minutes. So we run to the field behind our house and we play with RC cars. Well, my 3-year-old isn't very good at driving RC cars. So I got to kneel down with him and take a moment with him and teach him and educate him. It's in these individual moments. How can you make this moment better? Can you organize something? Can you add energy into it? Can you add positivity into it? And are you going to be perfect? No, we're human. But the point is, you're intentional. You're trying and you're doing your best. And as you do your best, that perpetuates.
There's a plan in place to take and seize the opportunity to make it better. And you
Mhm.
live that, man, clearly. You used a word that is very powerful. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I believe it's to be very powerful. It's something that comes up often in a lot of what I talk about around human connection, around experiences, events, all those things. You said moments. Those little moments, that time where you get on the knee and you teach and you spend time with your 3-year-old, those micro miracle moments is what I call them.
I love that.
When did you start to realize and focus on those things? Because that to me is something that y- you almost cherish when you call it a moment, right? Like when you signify it as a moment, not just something you skip over, not just something that pops up and you handle and you move through, but an actual moment where you're present. When did that kind of come to light in your world?
I can feel the emotion rising with this one. So, in a previous life, I was an executive. I ran a laboratory and I worked 10, 12, 14, up to 20 hours a day for months on end. And I was never home. And my then, he was a year and a half, 2 years old, and my pregnant wife. And I was never home, ever. I was gone before the kids and my wife got up. I was home after everybody went to bed. There were days where I slept 1, 2, 3 hours for weeks on end. And my wife would send me the videos of my oldest, then one, of his first food, his first word, his first crawl, his first step, his first everything. Every milestone that my now 5.5-year-old went through for the first 2 years of life, I wasn't there. I was working and trying to provide and doing the things that we hear, right? I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm not there because I'm trying to provide for them. And so they can have food on the table and they can have experiences and grow and learn. And then my second son was born and I was gone so much that I almost became a stranger to him. He was after I was gone before he woke up and I was home after he went to bed. So when I showed up, it was like who's this? So my wife was basically a solo parent. And then I left that career and I chose to leave the career for my kids and for my wife. I chose to take every moment that I could because so much of my life, 13 years of my life, was given to another cause. And I tried to show up for my employees. I tried to show up for my customers and my clients and all these things. But at the end of the day, the things that mattered to me, yes, moving the business mattered. I cared about my work family, but my actual family was suffering. And I wanted to be there so bad. And I remember being like, now that I'm with my kids purposely, and I just decided to do my own thing in life, now I've been the head coach for almost every sport both of my kids have done. I am to every practice, every swim lesson. They want to go to the pool at our neighborhood pool. Let's go to the pool. I'll teach you to swim. I take these moments as gifts because they truly are that. And when you sit down and think, oh, I knelt down with my son in the back field with an RC car, I'm building core memories. When I'm riding my bike and my kids are in the trailer, they're going to remember this. I remember sitting in the trailer of my mom when she rode her bike and I was 2 years old. I remember that, sitting there with the book in my hand and watching my mom work. And I know beyond shadow of doubt, my mom has worked her whole life to stay the fitness level that she is so she could play with her grandkids, my kids. And she's now pushing 70. She still rides like 20, 30 miles a day on her bike. She was a world champion for the senior Olympians. My mom's been doing that my whole life. And there was a moment I was riding my sons and we'd scream under little overpasses. So we'd scream and make it echo. And I realized I'm creating core memories. How many core memories can I actually create? Not just live through them, but create them. Build the opportunity. Don't just happen upon them, because life's going to happen. But when are you going to make the opportunity versus wait for it?
Full body goosebumps, brother. Thank you for just pouring it out. No, I can feel it. I can feel it because it's what I've struggled with it too, man. Like, let's just get vulnerable here, right? You know, I remember when my wife came to me when we were having our second and she was pregnant and she looked at me in the kitchen and she said, "This is so much better than the first time." Right? And it was, you know, only a year and a half in part, but those little moments, and it was that moment that was just like, click, keep doing this at every cost. Anything else doesn't matter, right? Because there's different seasons of business. There's different times where you're trying to build and you're trying to understand and leverage momentum and continue that growth and get to that, unlock that next level and your brand and hit new records and employ people and exactly what you said. And it was a struggle, right? Because you're like, okay, well, I have to provide, I have to do these things, but you're smart enough, you have enough understanding, power, knowledge to do both. And I wholeheartedly believe it. And I'm just grateful for people like you who share those stories, who share those situations where you missed their first food, right? Because if it wasn't for someone who to share that, then there wouldn't be new dads to understand that before they went through it. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for some other people in my life because it's a constant reminder, right?
Yep.
And I'll give you a scenario. Like, I needed to hear this most right now. I've created a goal in 2025, my wildly important goal, my wigs, right? My wildly important goal to not leave the house and not go to sleep with the family more than 20 nights, right? And I'm faced up against a decision to make right now. And I know what the right decision is. I'm at my 20 nights, right? I've got a speaking gig in Key West next month. I'm headed to Philadelphia in October. I'm booked. If I go take another speaking gig and travel, then I'm not going to hit my goal, right? My goal was to not be away more than 20 nights. And there's still that little devil on my shoulder that's like, well, this could be an opportunity. And this person's going to be on stage too. And you haven't spoke with them and you can meet them and you're going to squeeze the juice and you're going to do some podcasts while you're there and you're going to get content. And you know how you are. You're going to build deep human connection with the speakers in the green room. And it's going to lead to this and that. And this person does a summit and this person does a conference and you've got a conference coming up. And it's all these reasons, yet it's this little devil because I'm not present in the family and I'm not present with my goals. And I'm not letting that devil grab a hold of me, man. And
Mm-hmm.
it's such a pleasure to hear it in the moment right now, again, as a reminder to what I know, knowing that there's still that pull, that tug to try to get me off course. So I'm grateful for you sharing that, man. Very grateful. Very grateful.
Straight to what you just said, and to echo that, I've got two examples, both of which extremely successful in their field, very wealthy men, and they're busy. They travel a lot. I was in Mexico on a philanthropic retreat with actually both of them. Funny enough, I didn't realize I was with both of them. But we were at this retreat, and on Saturday, halfway through the retreat, one of them left. And I said, "What are you doing? What do you got going on?" He goes, "Oh, my son it was national championships for gymnastics." And I said, "Oh, you're going to go to that? What are we doing here?" He goes, Oh no, that's way more important here. You guys got the fort here. There's like 40 people here for this trip. I came, I showed up, I did as much as I can. I need to go home. And then I later found out he does this a lot. I've known him to host his own events. And both of these men, actually, I've seen both do this. They both had events, different events in Vegas. One lives in New Mexico, one lives in California. They were in Vegas hosting their event. They were on stage speaking, got off stage, flew home, one for his kids' gymnastics team, the other one, he's his daughter's soccer coach. He flew home, coached the soccer game, flew back, and walked back on stage. The whole crowd never knew he left. But that is the level of importance
Yes.
that they don't miss. They don't. And I asked them, I said, how do you balance? He goes, there's no such thing. There's a well-known story with Tim Grover, actually. Most people know who Tim Grover is. He's the famous personal trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and all these people. Tim Grover lived in Chicago, but he trained Kobe Bryant in LA when he played for the Lakers. Kobe got to the gym at 3 a.m. Tim Grover would get on the plane and be to the gym by like 5, 6 a.m. And there was many days he flew home in the middle of the day, went to his daughter's volleyball game, and then flew back for practice at night. He did that all the time. And his daughter was interviewed later. They said, how important was that? She goes, as a kid, my dad just never missed. That's just normal. My dad's there. As an adult, I realized how much my dad sacrificed because he wasn't flying private. He was flying Delta coach class back and forth multiple times a day just so he could be there for his client and for his daughter. That's why Tim Grover is successful. That's why Tim Grover is Tim Grover. It's not that he trained all these people. It's that he had priorities straight aligned and he did whatever it took to make it happen.
Exactly. Wow. Wow. What a dude, another goosebump moment over here, man. I'm like, woo.
It's a high bar. It's a high bar to hit.
When I think about this and I think about balance and I think about kids and family and life and business, and Brian Covey had mentioned this to me and it aligned what I was trying to put in words. And he's just such an amazing gentleman. He said, it's not balance, it's integration. And when I started to look through the lens of integrating what I love in life and who I love and what I want to do, it started to make so much sense, right? At the end of the day, and another friend of mine, I'm so blessed for people, right, in my life, you and Brian Covey and Robert Hartline, who I'm going to mention now. But Robert told me that he said, life's about doing the things you love with the people you love. And if I can do that, and if I can integrate that, and I can look at business and sales and helping people and impact and creating and building new products and services that I think fit the market and can help that one person, yet help multiple people. And I'm a savage when it comes to business, right? Like I really like it. I really put a lot of effort into it. I think about it 24/7. I dream about business, right? I think about possibilities. I think about it in the shower. I think about it when I'm putting my socks on. If I'm going to think about business at that level, how can I not be thinking about my family at that level? Right. And I need to look at it with family first. Business is integrated with that rather than business first and family gets integrated with business. When I started to do that, man, I don't know, but I'm just happier. I'm just a happier person. I'm not hanging around people I don't like or that I don't align with or don't value their values or their beliefs. And the people that I am with and the people who I am spending time with, they're accelerating me as a human, right? Not in business, not in life, me as a person, as a unit, as one, knowing that there's a relationship there that's deep enough for them to understand me, them to shoot me straight, them to tell me when I'm messing up, right? But then also for them to celebrate on the mountaintop with me too, when it's deserved and when it's aligned and when it's correct and when it's right. And I just think that's something of beauty. Knowing you and knowing your tight network and who you spend time with and some of your friends and some of the acquaintances we've been aligned with, how important is that for you and how you navigate your life?
Bringing people with me on the things that I want to do specifically.
Yes.
It's everything. I'm one of those people, I don't want to go to the movie alone. I've done it. I've been on work trips. I've been in the movie alone. And then I call my wife and I'm like, dude, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And this happened. I've been to a concert alone. I didn't like it. I actually left early. I've been to movies alone. I've left early. I like to do things with the people I love and have these experiences together. After all, we are a summation of our experiences. So you curate those experiences to curate your life. And when I do these things with my friends and my family and the people that I love, it builds these bonds that become unbreakable. As I get older, get further in business, my circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as I refine who's really in my corner. And you really find who's in your corner when you go through your hardest times. You have the people that are there when you're winning, but when you go through hard times, the people that like you when you're winning, they kind of just fall off. But the true friends, the true ones that are there to battle with you, they're there indefinitely. And I really curate those relationships. And some of the one that comes to mind, I've got this friend that we try and go mountain biking. We try about every Friday, but it's usually 2 or 3 Fridays a month. And the amount of relationships I've made through this man is so wild. And when I first met him, he messaged me on Instagram. And I said, let's get together. You're local to me. Let's get up. And on the way there, he texted me, said, what's this meeting about? Like what business, what venture? Because he's pretty well to do. He's really connected and really wealthy. I said, business? Dude, I'm coming to see if I like you as a human. I want a friend. I don't want business. And he's like, oh, cool. We've done a lot of business since then, but we're first friends. And before that, we mountain bike and we hike and we do things together and we just play. If you want to build true, lasting, meaningful connection, you either play together or you serve together or you suffer together. And when you purposely do that, people forget the play part. It's always work together, do business, do business, do business. Like that comes and goes. But playing, serving, loving together, it's everything. And that's what you truly brings joy, at least to me.
It's something that I think we tend to forget. And I think as I moved through my life and started to have kids, it's reminded me, it's almost slapped me across the face, right? Is when you see the joy and you see the openness and the availability, and you see kids connecting and they don't know each other, and just watching kids who can't even talk to each other, right? Can't even carry a conversation, but to build an experience at the playground, and they don't know each other. There's no other motive besides let's just create joy and happiness and fun and an experience. And when I started to see that, it really smacked me across the face, because I think we live in a society where the norm is let's connect, which means let me try and sell you something, or let me see if you can help me sell something to someone else. And I think that word has been just obliterated to the true meaning, right? Like a connection is two people loving on each other and understanding any opportunity to make each other feel heard, valued, seen, and elevated, right? If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, and or you're in sales, right? That stuff typically tries to come first. And I think you doing what you just said and talking about how you can serve with people and how you can play and how you can suffer together, like that's what's building that deep level of connection, especially that human connection. And you can't get that online. You can't get
No.
that. And it can sound good. And I think it can maybe feel good initially. But I also think that your cognitive brain and your emotional brain are going to talk at some point and figure it out, right? And it may not be initially, but it may be that second or third time or fourth experience. But how do you see AI and this human connection, this relationship with people, this level of play? How do you see all this kind of working in the present and maybe transitioning in the future? What's your opinion on that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'm huge in AI. Our entire company is built around AI, and everything that we do is AI. I use AI to build all kinds of stuff, but I use AI to further what I could do by myself, to maximize. Like I'm having AI give me spark notes on books so I can read more books. I'm having AI tell me, summarize all this into key takeaways and applicable knowledges so I can grow. I'm having AI take the things that I'm doing and magnifying them beyond what I'm capable of doing myself. I view AI as a supplemental tool, not as a replacement.
Let's go. Come
I've got a
on.
few
Let's
friends, man,
go.
and it's funny you asked this. I got one friend that AI is her therapist. Literally, she uploads all her texts with her current ex, whatever he is. She uses it as her actual therapist. She actually canceled her appointments with her in-person therapist because Chat GPT. And I got another friend that he stopped going to his medical provider because he just asks Chat GPT what to do on the medicinal side. He balances homeopathic versus Western medicine versus Eastern medicine. And they're doing all these really dumb things. And I look at it, I said, dude, you are blowing my mind. I had one person, he called ChatGPT his advisor. He was uploading legal documents like NDAs and saying, how do I interpret this? Where's the flags? Where's the loopholes? Well, that NDA had loopholes for his benefit that his attorney put in so he can get out of things in the future. It's like, oh, loophole here, loophole here, loophole here, loophole here. Don't sign this. This will burn you. It's like, those loopholes were put to protect you. But now you just fired your attorney because you think your attorney sucks, even though he's number 3 in the United States in defense. People are using it. And this is people that have an addictive personality. I typically see people that go like really ham on one thing. And when they do it, they go ballistic. There is, we'll use the term very loosely, balance in all things. Use it as a tool, but don't use it as a replacement. There was a time I was working at a supplement shop helping a friend. I needed help financially. He needed help in his shop. My background's chemistry and fitness. He owns a supplement shop. And people all the time would walk in and say, I had this one lady, she goes, I need to lose weight. Summer's coming up. What can I take? So nothing here. You can find the door. She goes, what do you mean nothing here? I said, nothing here will get you what you want. She goes, okay. That being said, how can we take what's here and then move forward? I said, I'm not going to sell you anything today. She goes, well, why not? I said, because our products are very great products at what they do. They are a supplement, not a replacement. You are trying to take a pill or a powder or a shot to do the work for you. When in reality, you got to watch what you put in your pie hole, count it out, figure out what the baseline is, and adjust thermodynamics. Calorie in, calorie out. It's literally a law. And she looked at me and I said, I want you to have a great experience with our products. And your current expectation is not a great experience. It won't be. So go do the work, come back, and then I'll give you a great experience. And I had 3 other people in the shop. And they looked at me and they looked at her, watched her walk out. And now they came asking questions like, okay, now we're going to buy because this dude had just literally kicked somebody out of his shop because they asked inappropriate questions. I see the same thing with AI. People look to it to do the job for them as a get it done so I don't have to, as the lose weight shot. But in reality, you're only putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. And it's so fabricated. You mentioned there's no soul there. There's no emotion there. There's no human connection there. There's human connection in words, and it's not there. It's gone. So as a tool, amazing. As a supplement, amazing. As a replacement, you are digging your own grave.
I could not agree with you more. I am in line with everything that you had just mentioned. And I think the only thing that I would even add, if I can even think of anything to add to that, because I'm with you, man, like I could not agree more, is what I noticed as well is like take the therapist example that you had mentioned. You're hiring a real in-person therapist to analyze the input that you're giving them to then decipher it based on your cues, your body language. If you're lying to yourself, the intuitive side of it, right? That like your gut's telling you, ask this question, or let me dig deeper here, or let me not dig deeper there. The empath in a therapist, the emotional intelligence to align when to back off, when to push deeper. ChatGPT and AI can't give you that. They can't give you the real-time reading, and the input you're putting in, that's the only set of information that they have. right? If you upload your text, great, you've uploaded your text. But what about the thought in your head that you've diminished and didn't share with them? Well, ChatGPT is not going to necessarily be able to pull that out of your head, right? Because you control the input, which in turn gives you the output. I
Hmm.
think the beauty in someone reading you who has experience, who's has seen a case like this before, doesn't just give you the to do or the talking points. They feel into it, right? And they diagnose or they prescribe or they say, do this or do that based on how they've read you and how they've analyzed not only what you've given them, your output that you've given them or your input, but all the things that make up that experience. Right. And it's one of the things that I think I'm really good at. I'm not really good at a lot of things, but like that level of leaning in as an empath and that emotional intelligence and to pick up on some cues and to listen in a little bit closer, to hear that sigh under your breath after you say something, to then dig deeper to really understand what's down there, what's going on, right? I do this in
Hmm.
consulting, I do this in friendships, I do this in conversations, or that touch of the neck, right? They say, "Oh yeah, no, everything's great." ChatGPT isn't seeing you touch your neck when you say everything's great, or that makes
Hmm.
sense, right? But that therapist is, because they understand micro expressions, they understand body language, they understand how to read people. That's where their experience has come from for 45 years, right?
Yep.
I agree with you. And I think it's just that input output. It's a system, right? And that system works with what you give it. That system
Hmm.
doesn't analyze or doesn't self pull in certain data or information, you know?
Right.
I don't want to put some more gas on that fire, but I couldn't agree
You
more,
could take
man.
that. You could take that fire very big.
Last question, and something I want to dive in with you because you actually impacted me so significantly. And I don't think I've shared this as much as I should have with you. So I wanted to start and with saying something and then end with asking you a question. We had a mutual friend that you had introduced me to and had gone through some situations in life and had some hard times. And you and I had a conversation, and you had mentioned to me, Jim, it's the strong friends that we've got to look out for sometimes, right? It's the ones that are always there for us. We've got to check in with them. And then those strong folks who are always there and bold, they need someone to ask them how they're doing too and check in sometimes. And that stuck with me so deep, man. And it was such a you said it in such a beautiful way, in such a high emotional situation, right? Like, and even more emotional for you, knowing that you were a little bit closer with this person than I was. And I just want to say thank you for that, number one. And number two, I learned so much in that because every time that I've checked in since you've said that to me, every time that I've checked in with the strong people in my life, the people that I go to, the people that are there to hold me up and not give me the handout, but pull me up with them, right? And just get me over the hump and move to that 1%, right? From that 49 to that 50 or that 50 to that 51. Every time I've checked in with some of those people, they've told me they've needed that text message or that call more than ever. How have you navigated that in your life? And is there anything that you can share on how you do that and how you show up for those people that I think everybody listening can probably take a lesson from and add that into their repertoire of connection and showing up and loving on people that love on them?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a heavy one, and it's an important one. I'll lead this with, and I'm very spiritual and very religious. I'm going to put those in two different verticals. I personally believe that God placed you in the moments you're in because he needs you, not because who you think you need to be or who you think needs to show up in that moment. And me, I'm a very blunt person. I do not beat around the bush. I hit it straight. You do not need to guess what I'm thinking because I will tell you what I'm thinking. I don't really care if I offend you because it's coming from a place of love. And it's coming from a place that I want you to grow. My business partner and I, we ask the question very regularly, especially when things get really hard. And the question is this: where's your head? And I'll call him. I'll say, hey, where's your head at? And he goes, dude, I'm hurting right now, man. I'm struggling. And my wife will call me. I've sat down during rough times and my wife will walk up. She goes, hey, Where's your head? It's like, my head's okay. I'm doing good. I'm moving forward. I'm not fine in the freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional fine. I'm actually doing good. I'm actually doing well. I think people are nervous to ask the question because they don't want to offend somebody. But if you're asking somebody, where's your head? How are you feeling? I have point blank asked somebody, are you suicidal right now? Yes or no? I'm not asking a great question. I'm asking a very point blank question. And you typically have a reason why. It's
Yeah.
not just I walk up to somebody that's like having a great time and I'm like, hey, are you suicidal right now? No, it is somebody that I know personally that is going through a difficult moment. And you can sense these things. And I have it to where it's the same thing that you said, Jim. It's, I have a thought of somebody, I reach out to them. It's not oh, I need to text them. It's, I'm texting them now because I can't tell you how many times I have texted somebody and they said, I needed that in that very moment, not an hour from now, not tomorrow. I needed it right now. I have texted somebody at 11:45 in the evening and said, you came to mind just now. Are you okay? And they fired back, I'm normally asleep right now, but I'm sitting up in bed and I'm not okay. And we ended up talking for like 3 hours. I just happened to be rocking my, at the time, baby, and they came to mind. But the biggest and best advice I could possibly give is if you think of somebody, message them. Even if it's man, I'm thinking of you. I have some really high level friends that I try to not bug them. They entrusted me with their phone number to not bug them. And I've had it to where I've messaged them and said, hey, you're on my mind right now. I hope you're doing well. The end. Most of the time, they never respond, but I've had it to where they do. And they say, I needed that. I needed to know that I wasn't alone. I needed to know. I was praying just now. I was praying, God, are you there? If you're there, send something. And then a text fires across the way. I'm thinking of you. I hope you're doing okay. I have a friend. He is the most spiritually connected man I've ever met in my life. It is mind bending. The number of times where I've needed a message and then all of a sudden I get a message from him, a prayer from him, a text, a scripture from him. Hey, man, hope you're doing well. You came to mind. This dude's a billionaire that runs an international company. And the fact that he just decided to pause and send me a message, I'm thinking of you. I hope you're okay. If that dude can do it, anybody can do it.
There's no
Because
excuse.
that dude's on the road all the time. And it's important because you are the angel that somebody's praying for. God, yeah, he uses a whole bunch of angels, and almost always they're the people you know. Be the angel to show up for somebody because you never know what might happen if you don't.
Whoo, man, you said it was going to
I'll
get
finish with this
heavy
one
right
thing.
there.
I got one follow up with that, actually. I have a really close friend, passed away in 2020, Labor Day weekend. He had a pulmonary embolism walking to his car. I was in the area because he was in Arizona. I live in Utah. I was within a 2.5 hour drive from his house visiting my sister. And while we were down there, I had a thought, you should probably go see him. You should probably go see your friend. Like, he's super busy. This guy works 12 hours a day. If I show up, he's not going to be prepared for me. I'm going to show up to his office and it's going to be like, dude, I'm totally slammed. I'm so sorry, but thanks for coming by. I'm like, I don't have 5 hours of driving plus however long I'm there, which probably isn't long. It probably honestly would have been like a 20 or 30 minute. What's up? Hey, let's get some food. I'll order food in. Let's eat a sandwich. I got to go back to work. He was just that kind of guy. And that was on a Tuesday, 2020, Tuesday before Labor or Memorial Day weekend. I had this thought, you should go see him. I'm like, I don't have time. I was with my wife. She's like, we really don't have time. We're down here for family events. We're down here for this stuff. We had an afternoon open, but we decided to dedicate that afternoon to just sit with our family. He died on Saturday.
Man.
I never got to see him. And from that time forward, it was, if I have a thought to do something, you must do it. Because I never want to be in a position again to where on Saturday and I get the news that my best friend just passed away from a pulmonary embolism. I was within 2.5 hours of his house. I could have seen him one more time. I could have given him a hug one more time. I could have shared a precious moment with him one more time. Just one more time. We're not guaranteed another second. If you get a thought, that might be the last opportunity you get with that person. Hell, it might be your last opportunity. You're not guaranteed another breath. That's a gift. So start treating it like that, because you're not guaranteed another moment.
It's wow, you've got my brain rolling. When my dad passed away, when I looked at the phone, my brother was calling me. I knew my dad had passed away, right? No complications, no like it's those things. It's like this inner sense you almost get, right? When you're in alignment or when you're close to someone. And I remember a friend in high school, same exact thing. And if we don't act on it, what are we giving up? Right. So at what point and what level is human connection or a relationship important to you to stop what you said? That billionaire, it's on his mind. Send the text, send the message, send the call. How much time are we actually sacrificing to do that? Not much.
Yeah.
Right. Not much. And it just happened yesterday. I sent it to a friend. I'm like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I see you. You're on my mind. I was thinking about you. You're doing it. You're crushing it. I know you're grinding. And he's like, man, I needed that more than ever. I've been in the car driving because I couldn't catch flights for these gigs that I got. So he's like, I drove almost 24 hours in the last like day and a half. And it's like, man, maybe that inspiration, maybe that just helped him get through that, right? Or who knows what could happen. So I appreciate you sharing that and just getting vulnerable with us. I think it's important. And this is about impact. And not only have you impacted me, but I know you've impacted our listeners. So I just want to say thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pouring it all out, diving 100% in, as always. And thanks for teaching me some lessons in our friendship and being there for me, brother. I appreciate that. And we'll do it again soon, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.